Oh, hello. This is comedian Mike Archer. You might remember me from such podcasts as the Mike and Dane Hall of Fame podcast, and the one you're currently listening to now. Today's bit is called Brace Yourself. There is a common saying, one day we will look back at this and laugh. This was not a common phrase when discussing my teenage years. During that era, we would look back and say, oh, Jesus Christ, Michael. I was a unique teenager, much in the same way that John Wayne Gacy was a unique birthday clown. I don't know why or what made it such a challenging time for me, but that's definitely worth a second look. To say my family life was toxic would be very inaccurate. My parents were both very smart and successful, and my sister, valedictorian of her high school class, was doing great. I, on the other hand, just spent 3 minutes making sure valedictorian was spelled correctly. One of the nights that shaped my troubled time occurred when I was 15 years old, at a time of day when nothing really bad happens, 3 a.m. I had been wearing braces on my teeth for at least 2 years and was getting very frustrated since it seemed like there was zero timetable for them to be removed. We could also throw in the caveat that I did not possess an overwhelming amount of patience at this time in my life. When asking my orthodontist when I would finally see an end to this facial calamity, he would always answer in the same drab, monotone, unenthusiastic voice and say, "Oh, it's so hard to predict what your teeth are going to do." Finally, I hit my breaking point and was done. I was tired of all the rules: no hard candy, no popcorn, no gum, wear your rubber bands. So this fateful night, while chewing gum and having a Jolly Rancher, one of the brackets popped off. Now, this is doubly frustrating because this allegedly sets you back a month and you need a new appointment to reattach it. So, if you add a month to eternity, it's like pretty long. I turned this setback, though, into inspiration. If that one brace came off this easily, why am I relying on a trained and certified orthodontist to tend to my dental needs? Like Edison with the key, I was inspired and planned my next step of action. Remember the opening of the show Doogie Howser? Yes, we're still on the same topic, by the way. One of the bullet points in the show's intro was a young genius who was 14 years old, passed, the medical board. Well, I was 15, but it was time for dental surgery nonetheless. I didn't have a prep table, but I did know the tools of the trade. Flathead screwdriver, I believe that's the medical term for it, and a hammer. Several taps and adjustments later, there was no longer a, "oh, we can't predict when your braces will come off" diagnosis. They were off. Not to boast too much, but I was only able to remove the brackets and wire from the top row of my teeth. In my years at dental school, I deciphered it would be best to leave the bottom row as is, so I didn't accidentally hammer the steel into my teeth and gum line. You know, the more you know. I still remember pulling that intrusive wire from my top teeth, and I felt like a new person. I ran my tongue across my teeth for the first time in what seemed like eternity. When I was brought to my next appointment, the assistant did not share my enthusiasm. She was bewildered by my actions. You could have ruined your teeth." Uh-huh. I didn't, but okay. I obviously was well versed in the field. My teeth still look great today, and I owe it all to my steady hand and the friendly staff at Home Depot. 12 years later, I was working as a bank teller, and a very flustered customer came to my window. I soon recognized him. Oh my gosh, that's my former orthodontist. He was shuffling through a pile of documents, and I said, "Hey, you were my orthodontist." Completely unfazed, he didn't even look up, and stated he had treated thousands of patients over a very long career. I replied, I was the one who took his braces off by himself. The retired doctor looked up, and his face said it all. In a world full of forgettable faces, be the one that someone always remembers.